evening, everyone, and thank you for coming out to Deb Chanel 48's World for different reviews and informative segments of my videos. Today, we're going to be talking about the Housewives of Potomac, episode 2, season 1, Divas, Queens, and Bubalas. Well, Bubalas or something like that. Anyway, the scene takes place where Giselle and Karen are still feuding. Karen is still so bossy. You know, she wants to be in charge of everything. Somebody made her the queen bee. I don't even think they even took votes or even passed out ballots, but she just assumed herself in that particular role, and they all seem to roll with it. This particular segment, what's her name? I forget the child's name. Chrissy or um, Sherelle or something like that. She's having a party, and it's more like a crab broil or some type of outdoor picnic or something to that aspect. And she asked Giselle to come over and help her prepare the crabs because she didn't know how to cook. Now, if she's all of that, or how she tries to portray herself to be, is a little step under Karen, because Karen's supposed to be like the mother hen of everybody, and the big queen on the throne, and she don't ever feel like she's gonna be replaced. The second one, hierarchy type person, would be Charisse or Sherelle or Giselle or something like that. And she feels that she's the next person in line because of the age factor, and that her husband is a basketball owner of the Wizards, but I think he got demoted to coach at a Rutgers University. I think that's somewhere in Maryland, Virginia, or something like that. And he's mostly not home with her. All of them seem to be married. Well, Giselle is divorced, and she seems to be okay with her status, being single and raising three girls on her own, pretty much. And then there's Karen. You know, she pretty much was raised on a farm, come from farm life, and she got a hold of this older gentleman who does real well for himself, has his own business, and I think it's an IT corporation he works on. But he's old money in a sense, and he's worked very hard for it. So she married some old man, honey, trying to just be a gold digger, pretty much. And then you have Robin. She's married to an ex basketball player, and he's trying to see if he wants to, I guess, coach at a university as well, but it's out of town. It's not going to be in Potomac. And he's trying to decide whether he wants to leave his family and go out there, but then he wants his family to come with him. But that whole ordeal of how their living situation is dumbfounded to me, because I don't know how you can divorce somebody and still sleep in the same bed with him, and portray yourselves to be cohabitating in a relationship, but you still love him like he's your husband, and he's like really seeing you as a best friend of some sort. I don't know how that works. I can't wrap my head around that at this time. And then you have Katie, who thinks she's the belle of the ball still, three kids, and then she's trying to get this other man to marry her and assimilate into their already made family. And he ain't too much having that. He just see her as a sex toy right now, and just somebody he can lay with and have intercourse with. And she's good eye candy to take around the town or whatever. But he's scared about being married, and he just don't want to let the single life go, because he think the freak train is just needs him on it, and he don't need to get off of it, because he just don't know about the whole ordeal of being married and having that type of life. Even though all of his friends, from what Katie says, are all married, and he's the only one in their little circle of friends that is not married. And he ain't look like he's trying to get married anytime soon. I have no doubt that he cares for her and he loves the children, but that's just a lot to put on a fella of his age. He's 43, and he didn't really express from the little times that I caught the show because they only had 3 episodes. I think I've seen two. I missed one. And he just seems like he's a happy-go-lucky guy. He just wants to have what he wants, and at this time, he don't want marriage, or he just don't want nobody telling him that he needs to get married. So that's how that is. But getting back to the little thing, um, the little show that we're trying to review, the segment that we're in. Like I said, they were trying. She was hosting. Um, Chazelle was not Chazelle, but what is that child's name? I'm just gonna call her Miss C. But she basically didn't know how to cook. I don't know why she didn't hire a caterer to do, her food and all her decorations and stuff. And she asked Giselle to come over, and she knew what she was getting into. Giselle just pretty much tell it like it is, and whatever she don't like, she gonna tell it, straighten it out, get it going, however you want to get it going, but it needs to be moving. And so she brought her stylist friend with her because he does her hair. Um, for her show, or he's her stylist or whatever. And he makes her up and, makes her look pretty, which she's always pretty in the show as well as in her confessions. To me, she's always on point. Very beautiful woman. She kind of reminds me of Evelyn, but she's a little bit prettier than what is it? Evelyn, from the Basketball Wives, that the show Shawnee um, co-produced or executive producer of that Basketball Wives show. She reminds me of her. And she has a good spirit, and like I said, she's not a little Debbie Downer going around feeling sorry for herself. She's very proactive in the community. She's proactive with her kids. She's always trying to make time for them. Then she trying to make time for herself. And, she's just the ideal put together woman. I like her. So she has no flaws in my book at this point. I don't know how it goes as I keep reviewing the show. But anyway, she was doing her a favor by lending out her friend to come help her cook the crabs, as well as to get her on point with her looks for that day. But for some reason, she was just acting all stank and funky, with her attitude, trying to tell Giselle, don't come this place in her house, don't go this way, don't do this in her house. And just showing out. So I didn't like her. And if I was Giselle, I would just packed up my stuff and left. But anyway, she was just trying to, make sure she was good. And while she was still upstairs trying to get her face on and her clothes, Giselle was sitting out downstairs inviting her guests because her guests had already arrived. They was ready for their drinks, their food, and any other type of entertainment she had for them. But that crazy C is upstairs trying to get herself together and drinking and carrying on. I'm like, she is not the perfect host. So, Miss C's friend comes in a little yellow outfit, looking kind of cute and stuff. But, she just too much of a busybody. So, Giselle confided in her, went down to the pool area to just, talk about what had transpired. And Karen had came also in there, kind of upset because she didn't want to be have her car drop her off so far from the venue to where she had to walk, and she was upset about that. And so she's gonna get Miss C together about that issue. But anyway, they all sat around the pool area under the little sun chairs and patio seats, and they were just talking and carrying on. And she was just trying to tell her friends about which are they just run in the same circle, pretty much. But she's not one of the major players. She's more so Miss C's best friend. So she was just trying to tell her how she was acting, how rude she was acting, da da da. So Miss C's friend, couldn't take that for face value. So she basically had to just go in the house and find Miss C, which I think his name is Sherelle or Charisse or something like that. It ain't important at this time. But she goes and she tries to get her side of the story, and then she was saying, well, this is what Giselle is saying about you and da 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 da. And I just know this couldn't be that you were doing all this because this is not the Sherelle I know and all this kind of stuff. And she said, oh no, she's just acting funny, and then she brought her friend In my house, I didn't ask her to bring anybody. I just asked her to bring herself, and she just going on and on, and she, she did. The guy was like, "Oh, and I need to do your hair too, right?" And then, it seemed like she got kind of offended because she thought her hair was on point, which, it wasn't bad looking, but it needed curling, curls in it, and she, I don't know. She was just a hot mess, really, to tell you the truth. Just a real hot mess. I was tired of her after, she just was lying up there to her friend. And, the guy, he was respectful. And, he didn't move nowhere than where she had left him, which was in the kitchen cooking crabs. But then they didn't find stuff to dump the cooked crabs in. They was hollering to her, hollering for her from the downstairs, upstairs. And, she was just talking all this trash about them and stuff, which I was like, ugh, mm-mm. So they basically kind of sort of squashed it, but not so. And the dinner party got to, went on. It's it just basically the dinner party started. Everybody was mixing and mingling, discussing the ins and outs, and just trying to enjoy the atmosphere and the ambiance and all that kind of stuff. And then, Giselle wanted to, try to figure out what was going on with her earlier with the whole Cal, which is Giselle's friend, is actually the mini chef, I guess, as well as the stylist. And he's a pretty well renowned stylist that, a lot of celebrities try to book in advance to do their styling of their hair and probably wardrobe too. Who knows? But Sherelle was just basically saying, Giselle, you were being very rude in my house and having the guy, try to come up to my private space area was where I was trying to get to, dress for the party, and y'all were just being disrespectful and da 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 da. And I was like, Sherelle, get the hell out of here. You were just into yourself, and you had ran beyond your time, and your guest was coming, and you just got all anxiety and just displaced yourself because everybody else was on point. You just weren't doing what you supposed to been doing, and then you asked the girl to come help you. So I mean, she can do all of that, get your crafts, fixed. She get her stylist to do her hair, and she gets fixed, and she started, you know, tending to your guests, which is something you should have been doing. I just don't understand. I'm not like, go fall to the left for a minute, because I'm just through with you. Just bad attitude. If I was the friend coming over to help you, hell, I would have left. I was like, got me a plate, said, hello to everybody, and I would have been deuces, like, I catch you on the flip side or something of that nature. But like I said, she did the honorable thing. She was there. She did what she could. She tried to talk to you about it. Let you know she had some kind of feelings negatively that she wanted to discuss about your behavior. But you just like, you ain't have time for this. You want this kind of drama. I mean, it wasn't like you would have no real dinner party, formal dinner party. You would have like a poolside party where everybody just coming, congregating in your house, eating up all your good food and liquor, and want to talk about you, and then leave. You're gonna have this big ass mess, and that's pretty much how that segment rolled. Um, then we go into talking about, let me catch that back up and end that. Um, Giselle just pretty much got tired of you. She cussed you out in a nice way. She got her little friend, and they bounced, and that was it of that that segment. Then we went in to see Katie was going into. Let me see. Okay, the next scene was basically Katie had called out a rabbi because she wanted to name her two daughters. She wanted to introduce them into the Jewish culture and assimilate them to the whole atmosphere and environment and the teachings of that type of what do you call it, um, religion. And the rabbi was just asking her, plain, simple questions about how far she had got into the Jewish faith, how did she get into the Jewish faith, and how much did she know about it, and all this kind of stuff. I don't think she was like, well, my mother was a black practicing Jewish person, and my father was, Caucasian. And he was looking at her like, Okay, now what does that have to do with what I just asked you? You know. Then he was asking her other pertinent questions like, why do you feel this is a good fit for you and your girls and all of this, that, and the other? And I don't know what's wrong with that girl, cause she didn't have nothing to say. And I'm like, if you're so into the Jewish culture, and your mother raised you into that particular religion, um, why you don't know anything about it? You don't speak Hebrew. You didn't try to learn how to speak Hebrew. I mean, it's just a status thing you want to say. I'm a Jew. I'm a black Jew. I don't know. I don't understand the whole concept. It mind boggles me. I'm very perplexed. Com- I'm a little distraught too. But anyway, you didn't do your homework. Because of course somebody in that faith that come out and interview you that's trying to indoctrinate you into that religion, they want to make sure you're not all willy-nilly and you're just not claiming to be something for some other reason, because it's your soul we're talking about. We know it's a lot, I don't understand where you were going with all of this. But anyway, he caught your foolishness because he even asked you, where's the husband of these kids? You couldn't come up with nothing about that. And, he was asking you, what was your take on the whole religion? How much did you know about the Jewish faith? And you were like, you thought pretty much that you can get away with just your good looks and your status in the community that would have brought you into the organization or the religion. And he was like, no. So it's pretty much like you just made a complete fool out of yourself. They don't want you in the religion. You don't know too much about the culture, but you're going to bring your children into it and all that nature. And child, I just think you need to go have a whole bed, lay down in, no, lay up under the bed. Don't even put no pillow up on your head. Don't do that. Just throw yourself up under the bed because you got some issues. Evidently, you don't want to be black. You want to be maybe white Jew or something to that nature because to me, you just really not trying to act black. I don't understand. I really don't. Oh, maybe you need to see a psychiatrist or something. Get some couch time or some chair comfortable time, and express, what you're going through. Because I'm through talking about you. Okay. Um. Okay. And then the rabbi also goes about she's trying to incorporate her boyfriend into the ceremony that she's trying to do, the renaming of her kids from Western Western type names or European names into the Jewish faith culture names. And she, he was asked, was is he the father of the children or whatever? And she's like, no, but she's trying to make him a part of her family. He's real good with the kids, da 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 da. But the main point was, he was like, okay, are y'all married now? Are you anticipating getting married in the future? And you couldn't really give him any solid answer. So he kind of knew, well, you just shacking. And, you just giving away your goodies. And that's pretty much it. And so he said, well, maybe he can find something for him to do. But that was just to pretty much put you off because he didn't really care. He really did. But, I guess, they just accept anybody in the different religions now, They don't have to know anything. Okay. That's all I pretty much had for that. But then we go on to the next clip, and we're talking about Karen and her family, or her husband's side of the family. And this old woman come in here, Aunt Dot, and then her daughter named Gail, and they looking all crazy and stuff. And your husband come around and be trying to introduce, well, not introduce, but bring her in see what's been going on with her and everything, and with this whole ceremony. When she comes in, her tea has to be real hot, piping hot, because if not, she ain't gonna drink it, or she's not gonna be, you know, uh, happy about the situation. She might even tell you off. Well, hun, I'm like, she barely could walk for one, with a cane, and having a bad attitude, almost like she got one foot in the grave, one on a banana peel or whatnot. I think he want to go out, Sean. And so, Jay, and so it was like, I ain't finna waste my time with this old woman, her old ways, and her old stank attitude gonna come up in my house talking all this kind of foolishness about this need to be done, this need to be done. And then when they bought the doing um tea tour, I'm like, what? Okay, what we had piping hot, and then you turned around and burnt your lip off, or you burnt your tongue. Then we'd be taking your ass to the what you call it, calling paramedics, taking you to the hospital, and then that's another thing that you're gonna fuss about. I'm like, lady, have you heard of blow, taste a little, see if it's just right, so you could swallow, so you won't burn it. Nah, you never heard of that. I'm like, oh, you talking about white folks trying to run all over us? You doing your own kind some disjustice. I mean, why don't we just get you the kettle? We have this conversation in the kitchen where that needs to be done anyway, where the food at and all the snacks. But anyway, she makes a big deal about, it's cold. And then she didn't even offer me no milk with it. And you just can't drink warm tea. Well, you can't drink hot popping tea either. You put the shit up to your mouth, then guess what's going to happen? Blisters. That's what you're going to have, blisters. Ugh. Oh, anyway, I was sick of her. I was like, let's turn the camera off. Let's go to something else. Cause I just didn't get it. You don't just come in somebody else's house. They're inviting you. They're making it, comfortable for you. Inviting, having your, tea ready for you, and probably other foods and stuff they didn't even get to show. And then you're gonna come and, get your little 5 minutes of fame by acting like a total ass, for everybody to see. And, just disrespectful, just totally disrespectful. Yeah. Anyway, so we move on to Robin, Katie, Ashley, and Giselle. They're at this Sip with Socialites event. It's a party to raise money for her charity that she was sponsoring at that time. All the proceeds that they had an open bar where you had to pay for your drinks, but all of those funds that were being used for people buying drinks at the party were going to be handed out to that particular charity. So all the funds that was raised at that particular event would go to a needed charity, which I thought was nice. That's good. I like that philanthropy type, cause, and people get into helping another human being pull up in their social status. And it was a good charity, I guess. She was helping out. And anyway, it seems like Ashley had a little bit too much to drink. She's a youngster or a young adult, and she's pretty much living life how she see fits, which, I'm cool with it, but, just don't let the alcohol change your behavior. If you're cool, calm, and collected, you should be able to have a few drinks, socialize with your friends, kiki here and there, and still have that same personality when you leave. But this child's going around humping on people, trying to turn the party up. And she's married to a elderly man. She's 26, and I think she said he was 55, something like that. That's a very huge difference, you know. And I'm still not really, really understanding that. But I guess if daddy got money, then she right there, kind of more so like a sugar daddy. But in essence, they are legally married, so it is what it is. He wasn't at the party. He wasn't trying to help her. She was doing her little philanthropy thing for the community. I don't know if it was for him or it was for her, but either way, they were helping a charity, so it's all good. But anyway, she seemed good. It was Ashley, and like I said, she was getting along pretty well with with Katie, because they had some similarities to each of their lives. They were both married to white men. They were both dating men that were older than them. Um, I think that's where our similarity stops, pretty much. They kind of was maybe on the same age um, limit together. So I guess you can put that as a plus. And they kind of pretty much had the same personality as well. But I know I snorted, didn't I? Hmm. I mean, she was just a happy-go-lucky, young lady. And like I said, it didn't mesh too well with Giselle because Giselle would kind of been a little bitch too. Yes, she would. I caught it. I caught it. I caught it. She's been a little slick with her, and her mouth was being slick because the girl Ashley was coming up to them. She approached them, and she was just talking with them, and trying to make them feel comfortable, tell them a little bit about what the Silk with Socialites event was about. And I think she thought she was talking too much to her, rambling on. And Giselle was like, mm-hmm, pretty much you are. But I think she just took Giselle off guard because, she's a little cutie, and she's much younger. But I don't really think Giselle was intimidated by her. She just was kind of thrown off that, the girl was 26 years old. Her husband wasn't supporting her at the charity event. She was by herself, and yet she was letting some guy hit on her, and she was enjoying it. And she was drinking too much, as well as she was humping, like really grinding on one of the uh, Potomac women um, in the episode. And I'm like, Robin, she was saying something, but she was laughing with her too. So I'm like, don't fight nobody else's battles, honey. If somebody's, humping on you, then you get them straight and whatnot, and that would have been fine. But, no, maybe Robin had a little freak in her, and because it more she looked like a dog humping on a dog, really. But that was just my perspective. I didn't really care for the scene. I didn't really care at all really about it. But I think Giselle was a little bit too hard on him, and so they had to get that kind of straightened out. But she ended up calling her a thought, and I didn't think she should have called it that. But she was just saying the behavior was making her view her as a empty head thought, thirsty for attention, and she had a sugar daddy getting his money and probably really didn't care for him. That kind of scenario was for how her perspective was going on this particular young lady named Ashley. But it was okay. And then we went on. Let me see. Went to where they was talking. Karen and Giselle was having a little moment. Where they was with their kids and whatnot, spending time with their children, and issues with Giselle. And Eddie was talking, about moving somewhere. I don't forget this because it was kind of boring. It just lost me somewhere down the line. But both of them was kind of being shady in their confessionals, Charisse as well as Giselle, instead of them just hammering out everything. But they have to do what they got to do when they on these reality shows. Let me see. Then there's another part where Giselle was spending time with her kids, and she was trying to tell her about the incident that happened with her best friend or one of her close friends in their little circle, Sharice, and they was trying to say, "Well, Mama, what did you say wrong? Because like I said, Giselle got a slick mouth, and she was like, "What dog? Why y'all always blaming me? Why can't somebody else offend me? They were like, "Nah, Mama, we know you and stuff." And so they were just kind of giving her pointers about how she acts and this kind of stuff. My dog's fighting y'all, and they were just basically trying to say, Mama, look, if you want differential, you need to be the bigger person. You need to apologize. You need to do this, that, and the other. And I thought that was just so sweet that these young little women was trying to help their mother get out of a situation where she could be back hanging with her friends and everything, going back smoothly with the way it was before they had their little tiff. And of an argument and try to, kind of break up their friendship. And Giselle was like, okay, all right, we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna try y'all way. I don't think it's gonna work, but da 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 da. So she, lended out an invitation to Karen as well as Giselle to come to a brunch where she held so she can just kind of clear the air and try to get things back on one accord. And then the scene goes to where Eddie and Ashley, he comes in from, I don't know, meeting or whatnot. Stop it, y'all. And they disturb me at home, y'all. They get on my nerves. I'm about to tell them to leave. Anyway, she actually goes and tells him about, the what do you call it, the little sipping socialite thing that they did and the people that she met and how they treated her and all this kind of stuff. And he pretty much didn't really want to hear about it. He was just like patting her on the head like a little puppy, like, okay, you did your little philanthropy type thing, that's all that matters, as long as you had fun, they had fun, and money was raised. And he's like, well, okay, well, I'm finna go now, you do you. And she was pretty much like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to make nice with them because they are some powerful women in the community, and I may need them for other little issues. And so the next scene is when the rabbi comes back to Katie's little place, and they have a little ceremony of renaming their children to the renaming her children to the Jewish faith and everything. And one thing that I did stick out was, the rabbi was talking and everything, and then he was trying to introduce Katie's friend. And then he said something about, "Ooh, I should just call you Mr. Delicious." So I'm like, is the rabbi gay? What is going on here? He was hitting on her, wanting to be fiance. But anyway, that stuck out. I thought that was like kind of shady and all that kind of stuff. But then they did the whole ceremony. They thanked everybody for coming, and then the girls had drinks on the outside to just discuss what had happened, what had taken place. And Robin, I don't know what's wrong with Robin. Robin just seemed like she just ain't got herself together. Like she part of some kind of Pretty Little Liars club, and she loves to make Katie look like she's stupid because she was asking why out of all this time you've been really portraying yourself as a black strong woman and all of this and that other, but now you want to be in a Jewish faith, you want to marry a white man, just getting up all in her business. If I were Kate, I would just cuss her out and told her to leave, or get out my business. So this is how I roll, you roll where you roll, and that's how we're gonna flow with it. And Giselle was, giving her little take that, she's a black woman, but, she is the epitome of a black woman. She may look white or, she could go either way, but when she opens her mouth, like she said, you can tell she black. She just got some mixed in her somewhere, but she got three pretty little brown skinned girls, and, they love her. She don't try to distinguish any and everything about them in any negative way. She loves them and all that kind of stuff. But Robin just, she seemed like she want to play both fields, and if the situation portrays for her to be white, she's gonna take on that white privilege type persona, and then if it feels like she need to be black, then she's gonna take on that persona. But she really look white too, so. But I don't so much care for her. And that's pretty much okay. And then we went to a scene where they was trying to make up. Karen had extended an invitation, not Karen, but Giselle had extended an invitation to Karen because Karen had got on her about sitting in her favorite chair when it came to her birthday party that Sharice had thrown for her, but she was late in arriving for. So instead of her just telling, um, you know, Giselle to get out her seat because she wanted to be the head and the center of attention and sit in that spot. She did. She just brewed the whole, time that they were together and soaking that she wanted that particular chair. And that was just like, ugh, children, 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 children. And so she wanted to apologize for that. Then she wanted to apologize for Sharice if she felt that she had disrespected her in her own home. But of course, Sharice just acting all stupid and, just getting on my nerves, really. I mean, the girl was already extending an olive branch, telling you she was sorry for whatever she may have did to you that she didn't really feel she did anything, but if she felt she did, she was apologizing for all of it. But she just acting all funky and stinking and everything. I was tired of her. And then she did the right thing. She told me, I don't know if I want to be here. And she just said, okay, you don't want to be here. Just go on back to the car. Please go. And they didn't get their flowers either. I'm there all for it that she ain't getting them flowers. And I would have told the man they're gonna have to find their own way home. Don't take them home. Don't take them home. And you just go home yourself. Cause they had enough money. They flaunt like they got money. They rich and famous and all this. And they could have caught a cab. Deuces. But pretty much that's all I got for this particular episode. It was just a lot of backbiting between women, catfighting, and they just really need to get it together. But as always, comment, rate it, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.